This is Eric.
And this is Elaine.
All right, of ericandelaine.com.
Mm-hmm.
This is not our stay in love, stay home, stay safe, stay in love. It's been about a month. Okay. We've had workshops.
Virtual workshops that have been going wonderfully well. We're excited about that. That was a new venture for us.
Yes.
Well,
with the organization.
Sort of, yeah.
It's been 10 years for us.
Yeah, we've been kind of
one-on-one.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, we don't normally talk about celebrities and things that's going on with celebrities, but lately in the news has been a lot about some celebrities that
like
okay. So
it wouldn't be us. Come on.
Yes. So we never really talk about celebrities and so on and so forth. But we felt the need to go ahead and do this for a couple of reasons. So go ahead and talk about during the extreme makeover. Why? Because in the extreme makeover, before the extreme makeover, they ask you certain people that you really like.
Should we just say the show that we were featured on?
Yes. Okay, that's fine. Same thing. So
it's
yeah.
Okay, it's cool to say.
Yeah,
that
it's
now?
cool to say it. It's fine to say
okay,
yes that we were on the show. 42 minutes. We had our 42 minutes of fame. Which is the reason why we don't like to deal with, certain things in the, with celebrities, because they have enough of people coming at them. Now,
sure.
In that 42 minutes, time of fame here in Houston, we had some scary moments. People running up to you, don't know who they are. And as far as me is concerned, okay, you don't run up to my family like that without me doing my duty. Let's leave it there. Okay. And the driving by slow, when folks would drive by slow and everything. So these were some of the things that, again, was new to us. People felt like they just knew you. We were in my brother-in-law was in a place and people are talking like they knew us and they didn't, so we can kind of relate to. Not kind of. We can't even we can't relate at all.
Right.
But I understood what they were saying, how people were saying things about them, saying that they said this and saying that they said that when they said none of it. But anyway, tell them the reason why we're choosing them for the extreme.
Yeah. We wanted, when we were approached with who would we like to have be the celebrity guest for our recording, our show, we actually chose the Smiths, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, reasons that I saw, because we had talked about it, here and there, as we were establishing our own family. And, seeing them like on different shows or whatever, and you hear certain interviews, and you're like, oh, wow, that's funny. We homeschool. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. They're having their child. Okay. Oh, wow. We're pregnant too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. They're having, their another child. Oh, we're having a child too. And
but we kept going.
Somebody. Anyway, that's not what this is about. But we did. We kept going. But also, for me, some of the other parallels was Will had a child before marriage to Jada, and Eric had a child before his marriage to me. And she called him their son, her bonus son, and I called our daughter my bonus daughter. So
we thought we was originators.
Right. And so, there we were, those were parallels, and it was like, it would be cool, to, meet them and have them a part of the show, right? Of course, that could not be arranged. So,
he was probably shooting a movie somewhere.
Who
she
knows?
was probably,
we'll never know.
2010,
we'll never know.
I'm trying to think of what he was doing, Pursuit of Happiness.
It's okay, babe.
Okay,
We'll never know.
Anyway.
But yeah, so we just, that was one of the things that intrigued, and so I've been intrigued by their relationship. I'm not one, as Eric said, we're not one that, we look at others and we're like, oh my gosh, I want a relationship. There's so many people that were like, hey, I want that Will and Jada. There were even songs made. I want that relationship goals. Like Will and Jada, And, here's what we oftentimes say as well is, we're not perfect. So we're not perfect. So don't make the mistake and put us on a pedestal, right? Because we're just like anybody else. And that's why
people on a pedestal.
Yeah, don't put anybody on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. And so we encourage couples to really, be the expert of their own relationship. And also, you live the life that you know is best for you. And don't allow for anybody to make you feel like, you're just all this wonderful super couple. Mm-hmm. Listen, we're all in this together. And that's you'll hear us say over and over and over again. So
now, I was glad for there to be clarity. I had to take the time to watch the video because
I saw you have a couple of
some of the
clarifying moments.
I did. That was some things that that alluded to they showed just certain clips and certain things that were said. For instance, something that Jada said shiggity happens. You got to go through some shiggity to get some answers. And when I first heard that, my thought was, well, you don't just get into shiggity to, you don't go and choose shiggity. But when she talked about it and being honest with herself and seeing how we can, in our emotional states, if we don't practice self-care and choose to be happy and not happy, but to be, because happy is due to happenings. And that was one of the things in our show was that, we trained our kid. Well, not trained our kid. We taught our kids that, hey, joy is what we have. Absolutely. Right? Because we're not going to allow our external situation to determine our internal situation.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. What's going on in our emotions. So yes, I'm surrounded by a raggedy house, doing my best to make this our community center, right? Our headquarters for our nonprofit, and things are falling apart. The market crashes and all these different things happen. So
everything was not aligning up.
Everything wasn't
pretty.
No, it wasn't pretty. So we told, I learned that I was learning. Ugly. Yes, it was. I was learning that I had to be joy. I had to have joy in ourselves. And then we had our situation, the revelation of some things that happened in the past and everything.
We were going through our own shiggity.
Yeah, we were going through our own shiggity.
Now,
so you don't just choose shiggity to get into, because again, my initial thought process was, with that, just taking that sound bite out, it sounds like, will you get out? Because they painted the picture of like Jada, she's going out and doing her thing because Will has been doing his thing for all this time, and now she's, Stella getting her groove back kind of thing. And but that's how it was being made before we watched the video. Well, that's how the things that I saw from the different reports that was coming down the line and everything, and different things that people were saying and everything, and being at relationships in general and Negro relationships on purpose is what we go for when we see different things, because ELAINE is passionate. Don't come for her black relationships.
Hello? Can you say it louder for the people in the back? I am a firm advocate for relationships across the board, right? For healthy, positive relationships across the board. And so for me, it's important to be able to have a sense of a sense of honor and support, and just for those, for people of colors, for people who look like us, and we are not looked at in many circles as being some of the healthiest couples, right? Some of the healthiest families, in as far as it goes, regarding relationships. And so for me, I'm totally like, for anytime I see a couple and they've got some years behind, them in experience in marriage and love and this love journey, and they are holding it down, so to speak. I think that, we have to have that support. We have to be able to say, hey, not be the first ones on the bandwagon to pull them down. Right. And that's, and not just for even couples, but overall for any of us, when we're being showcased and we are, on the front line, so to speak, and we're representing us as a people. And I know some people say as a human, as a humans first.
Can't help the melanation.
But you can't, and so because we have not been in the media for a long time raising daughters, that's how I know, what we've had to have them to look up to, and who we had them, to look up to for, and even myself as a little girl, and we can go back and back and back to know that that's true. But for me, I'm huge on just really supporting our couples who are holding it down.
So I had, and we kind of bumped heads on some things because I wanted to see in Will's movies more black women.
Yes.
Because it seemed like it was when, because we had that beef when they wanted to boycott, the war show. That's how disconcerting. No. It was. I want to say the Oscar.
I think it is.
I think it's the Oscars. But anyway, so I was like, well, man, but we didn't represent in our movies the black women. I mean, we had Vivica Fox. We couldn't blame, a black leading woman on the numbers because that's a hit movie. That is an iconic movie. I don't care what the effects look like now to our eye now. That is still a movie worth watching, And then we had Enemy of the State, where we had Regina King, another awesome female actor. Vivica Fox was in Independence Day, and then we had, I forget the young lady's name, but she didn't have much, maybe 2 or 3 minutes in the whole movie, in 7 Pounds. So I had this chip on my shoulder. I'm like, man, why we, you got Hancock, I ain't gonna even list all the names of non-melanated women, in that roster. We felt,
so, and especially you felt should have been.
I mean, we had great, women that could have played different roles. I mean, the wife in. I love that though, because he did come back. The about when his daughter died. Remember the movie? Man, I can't think of the name of that movie. That was a good movie. That was a good movie. Wow. And he played it. The boy Cole is what he do, right? So, but anyway, we just wanted to say we're gonna get out your hair. Listen. You are going to go, it's just like let's forget about the infidelity. I mean, people do that all day long, right? But something they don't do is that they don't fight. They don't fight through it. Now they proclaim, bad marriage forever. Now, I wouldn't even say that. Now, I don't know what their thing is. I mean, you don't know, to take the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, said, you don't know what a person is until you see him go through something. I'm paraphrasing.
Judge a man's character.
Yeah. So you while you're in hard times, in good times, you can't judge that. Mm-hmm. You can't judge who they are. It's in the hard times that you can get an understanding at who they are. Yeah. So Will and Jada, man, our hats are off to you, Jada, for being as transparent as she was.
Absolutely.
Regarding the codependency. If everybody would take the time, now that's what we do. Okay, we do assessments and everything. For you in your relationship. If you go to ericandelaine.com, we can we'll do assessments with you, mentorship with you, and walk alongside you, because that's something that we didn't have. Our ancestors, we had elders that we could go to and talk to about these things, right? And we had a sense of community. Matter of fact, you didn't get married without the community's involvement. Not just Tay Tay and them. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about that was a level of eldership. Yeah. And that was another reason why we wanted to go in this heightened sense of racial tensions and everything, and the fact that we have become we have been for a long time in this country a byword, besides the N-word, you name it. Our women are not being respected and cared for. That was another piece that I was going to say too. But it's 15 minutes long. I don't want to keep going. Maybe we'll do it part 2. Matter of fact, stay tuned and come to one of our virtual workshops, and we will I will share some of those things, because it's interesting that when the woman cheats, oh man, all heaven and earth trembles. Everything that can be shaken is shaken.
It's considered, as she said, that others said, a transgression.
A transgression.
So I took notes. Go ahead. You don't have, you don't want us to spend a whole lot of time on this. I thought we were going to go in.
Go ahead. Go ahead, baby.
I was ready. But, okay. No, I'm just saying, we don't want to, because, we talked about some other things too, but we do, there's a bias, when it comes to, men and women. And of course, there have been different rumors and different truths that have been out there for years.
And they alluded to it at the end.
They alluded to it, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but I think, when we look at just to what you were saying, is how women are, we're all kind of names, when there's something that a woman does, right? That's of course, the same, probably to the same effect that what the man did, but she is considered, she's labeled, given the scarlet letter, and for the rest of her days, right? And so I think that's clearly it's a point that has to be brought out.
Yes, that was. So in our practice, we've seen that. We've seen that
time and time
a guy and a woman was faithful, and she, did. I don't know what the Smiths did, but I'm just saying from experience, when it seems that, as soon as the woman steps out, the guy is like, oh man, nah, I'm fighting for my marriage. I want my marriage, because this ain't right. Man, this ain't right. She sitting there, and I can't believe she did. But bro, you've been stepping in like you going to work.
Isn't that much like how it's been since the beginning of time? The beginning of time, right? Where, just think about it. The blame was always, it was put on the woman. It's always been put on the woman, or more, more, it's more tragic when it's the woman that's in the hot seat, so to speak. So I think, to me, this even kind of coincides with that, like the woman, it's more, it's a heavy hitter when it's the woman.
Yes, because it's
hard for people to get over it.
What was interesting to know that all of this stuff happened 4 years ago, and for it to come out now, because when I first saw the clips.
So I have to talk about that, because I noticed you had a light bulb come on when you found out. You had the surprise look when you found out it was using. You was like, oh, this wasn't recent. This was years ago. I'm like,
and they pulling your crap out. But the thing was, when I first saw the clips, and they just showed some clips, and they showed Will. I was like, man, it looked like he was crying before, and took a break, cried a little bit, and then took a break and cried afterwards.
Prayers to you, my brother Will.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm it is it's a crazy feeling when here it is. We've done the work to make up and everything. So yeah, it was disheartening that, but it was much like when I had my baby. I did what I had to do, and then when that child support hit, when after we got married, it was like, dude, hey, this is a part of it. When she calling and trying to say stuff, but then call you and try to say say that I said something different, not knowing that me and you was right there, and I was letting you listen in on the call.
And the all these cunning.
Had I not been there, I never would have had that issue. Had I not been there, and that's why when I heard it the first time, I was like, man, you don't create a mess.
Absolutely.
Because even when you clean it up, even when you try to clean up the mess, there's still that stench. And it's literally what it was. They cleaning it up, and here it is, 4 years, 48 months. Somebody done bought a car and paid it off.
Yeah. And so that's what happens, and sometimes when somebody else who's been affected, they come to the table, and that's kind of what happened, is with the young man's healing process. And he was on another interview, and he just happened to say, hey, now
you can't control what people say.
You can't
leave them alone, y'all. Leave them alone. If they ain't yours, leave them alone. And then you have it where some people said you got to be careful that a lot of times people watch if there's an album that's about to drop. Be careful of something that somebody does or says, the timing that they're doing it. Especially in the celebrity world, like what is it that they're about to embark upon that this will give them just the right attention that they need. I'm not at all saying that was his intent. Speaking of August, thank you. But I am just saying that this is something else throughout these last few weeks that I've actually, I've heard someone else say as well, and they are in the celebrity limelight as well, so to speak, or around that a lot. But yeah, this was this was a lot. I noticed the use of the word entanglement. And I like that is so me. Oh, so that's what we call it now.
That's what I'm saying, y'all.
Is that
yeah?
So
yeah.
This is a new, what was it that happened?
Right. And so it's,
y'all got buck naked. That's what happened. Say that.
Yeah. And so they're at different levels of their healing process.
Yeah.
And you can tell there's a lot of pain. You can see it on Will. You can see it, and But again, that whole thing when I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah. Like man.
But. She said, I think you're good on that.
Yeah.
So listen, I have been one, and I will say, I have said throughout the years, people, y'all put your mouth on them. They're not doing anything. I'm just a person like this. I'm a ride or die. Okay. I'm a ride or die person. I'm a ride or die friend. I'm a ride or die wife. I'm a ride or die mother. I'm just that. I'm that woman. I'm that girl. I'm that chick. Right. And so for me, if I believe and I support somebody until there is proof, I don't want to hear it. Like I can hear all of the things that's being said, but I can put it in a file and just in it's like in the file, hey, just in case file, right? Just in case it is true, then yeah, I did hear all that was said, but I don't spend a whole lot of time just looking at other people's lives like that. But I do, I have to say that throughout the years, I've been in support of them and hopeful. I'm just very optimistic regarding relationships, and I'm hopeful that their relationship was really genuine. And when people are always looking for holes, how do I know this? Because people have said the same thing about us.
Oh yeah.
People have said, and we're in no way on the level of the Smiths.
Yeah.
We're
but if you
the
got
Johnsons,
if you work hard in your relationship and you enjoy your relationship, people be like,
they don't think it's real.
I bet it's something. Look at him.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet you he just something another.
Yes.
You know. Or whatnot. Look at her. She just thinks she just, it's interesting. And I don't mind having that bullseye on my back because I'm going to be who I've chosen to be.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm that guy. If it makes you uncomfortable because I choose not to, the locker room talk and all of that kind of thing, man. Listen, I know if I say it, I'm going to be about it. So I choose to arrest the thoughts that come to my mind. Arrest those thoughts because it's to the point where that kind of stuff don't even come to mind no more.
Yeah.
Right? You worked it as a muscle, and because you've chosen a particular vision. I have a vision of my children. I don't want 2 or 3. I don't want no other person coming with their family to family gatherings. Yes,
we've gone through a little bit of that type of drama, but it has not been at all what people could have imagined the worst of. We have had.
I had 8 grandparents. No, 9 or 10 grandparents, because my dad is my daddy. Daddy had another woman. Then my daddy's mother had a man. And
well, there you have it.
And then when you get step parents, the step parents folks have parents, and
so it can easily get complicated.
It can easily get full blown, and that's a particular, not throwing any shade at anybody who had that kind of life, that kind of family structure. I'm choosing that I don't want that, so I act right.
That's right.
Let me change that. I choose to be the man that does not bring about a change in the relationship with the woman of his youth. According to the book, delight in the bosom of the wife of thine youth. And that's what I choose to do. I'm going to tell you, it is a worry-free life. I ain't worried about, somebody calling or texting my phone. I'm not scared that my kids pick up my phone. They know the code, because I might ask them, "Hey, look at my phone. Give me this email. Look at my phone and send this to your mama." I'm not concerned about my wife picking up my phone.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that.
That is stress-free.
It is.
That's stress-free.
Yeah.
I ain't stressing. I ain't looking. I'm not bending corners because I left my phone at the house.
Yeah.
Not because I'm afraid they gonna get in my phone. I'm bending corners because I know they're gonna talk about me leaving my phone.
That we do.
So, and that's not trying to toot my horn for this or that and everything. It's an encouragement to the brothers. Come on this side. Yeah. Live on this side. Everybody done been on that side. It's players. Playing is old business. It's old stuff. Nothing new. Everybody breaking up. Yeah. Matter of fact, when we talking to our couples, I'm saying, okay, how you gonna be different from everybody else? Mm-hmm. And I think Will and Jada did that very thing. They said, we are going to fight through it. Now, I don't know all the intricacies and all that. I'm not trying to look into that. But what I would like for us to take away from their video is that they chose to fight through it.
Absolutely.
Now, that's grown folk. That's grown and sexy.
Yes. And just the communication, right? The communication and the transparency of it all. It speaks volumes. That's one of the things that lacks in most of our relationships is true communication, right? And so to know that they are you can tell that this is not the first time that they've sat down and they've had a conversation about this. Mm-hmm. And although this is the first time publicly. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, and then it's almost like a re-injury, mm-hmm. right? Where it's brought
like
back
the
up.
Scab is tore off.
You're having to deal with it again. Mm-hmm. Areas where, they said they actually went their separate ways. They broke mm-hmm. up, mm-hmm. And so there were things there already. And so, listen, we understand, being that we are, 25 years in ourselves.
25 years in also.
And, we understand the ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows of relationships. Mm-hmm. And so, especially of marriage, right? Not just mm-hmm. any relationship, but your covenant, your marriage. Mm-hmm. It's a fight. It's a fight many days for your family. And I'm not saying it's a fight like a physical fight. Y'all get what I'm saying. You are in a fight for your marriage, for your family, for what you know that you deserve. Mm-hmm. Bottom line.
And posterity. Now, we'll talk about posterity later. Legacy and future generations. That's what we have to be concerned about. All right. Any final thoughts?
No, because, we're 30 minutes in.
Yes. All right. We just wanted to do this quick video and talk about that particular situation and draw our attention to this black king and queen that, is in a situation just like everybody else. Yeah. Just fighting to live and have a good life. Yeah. Right? Even with all the trappings. All right? So with that,
say a prayer for them.
Yes, pray for them.
They're going to talk. Yeah. Let it be a prayer.
Because you want it to be for you. You want it, and you'll receive that back. Believe me. But keep on, y'all. Make your love work. Go to ElAINE.com and schedule your next session. Okay? If you want the mentorship is not on there. I'm sorry. But go in there and drop us a line, and we'll work on the mentorship for you. For those of you who want to walk through what it takes to get your, to have your relationship. And this is not only for married people or engaged people. This is for single people too. Let's get you right before you even get started.
Yes, come on, singles. Come on.
Right? Yeah. So, again, go to ElAINE.com and let's get it going. All right? With that, peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.